I was put into a group called entrepreneurship. We call ourselves the entrees, like the starting course in a meal.
What are entrepreneurs and what do they do? And why do they do what they do? So
Our facilitators taught us that in order to stay globally competitive in the future, entrepreneurship was one way in which that could be done.
we went to Purvey. Purvey is a chocolate store owned by for young and, well, I would say quirky entrepreneurs. They shared with us their journey as an entrepreneur, how they got to where they were. And I think one of the important lessons that I learned from them is that
We have to start the end in mind. Now, for Purvey, right, they want to export their chocolates in the future. So this is really important because there is an ultimate goal that Purvey seeks to achieve, and they are constantly working toward it.
also what's important is having the drive to strive for what you want to do, because that is what you want to do.
The chef observed that Singaporeans are always sticking to their comfort zones. He realized that Singaporeans generally are very comfortable where they are, and they are not willing to step out and take risks, which might involve failure. So his advice was to step out of these comfort zones and to be not afraid of failure. Because
What really held us back most of the time was a fear of failing, and I think it's really true that you can only screw up your life that much, and once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. I mean, so what if you fail? So what if you screw up?
failure is something which you must overcome. Failure is something which will happen to us one point or another in life. And for entrepreneurs especially, failure is something that they have to expect.
Okay, we visited the Asia Pacific breweries. I think we all know it's a local company that actually they brews Tiger beer and other beers. But the thing is, they actually export their products to other countries. We took a tour of the company, where they showed us how to brew beer, where they showed us like how Tiger beer, especially is Singapore's mainstream beer, how it actually progressed throughout Singapore. Like we looked at all the different memorabilia and how it even survived in the war, because they had such limited resources. They actually made a smaller bottle and they call it the baby Tiger. The domestic market is just way too small. So what Tiger Beer did was they branched out to other countries as well, and they branded their drink as like it's a premium imported beer. And I think for that it created a lot of opportunities for themselves. They found like other financial investors from other countries who wanted to invest in their company. I think that is really branching out. That a local company as small as Singapore with like a population of 4.7 million is a world-renowned beer. They won many prestigious awards. It really does show you that Tiger Beer has made its mark on the world, and it's continuing to grow. Personally, branching out to me is not staying in your own country. I think as the world globalizes, a lot of global competition is being created as well. So we can't be stuck in one place. We can't try to stay in our own little communities. We have to branch out. We have to move out. Branching out is more of taking what you have now, whatever opportunities that you can have outside, and bringing it out to the world, and maybe spreading goodwill or really giving something to the world and hopefully making it better. Learning what they have that Singapore doesn't, and then bringing it back to Singapore. So, essentially what you learn, you give it to them. What you learn from them, you give it back to Singapore.
When it all comes down to this, I think all of us are going to work. Actually, yeah, it's a fact. But what actually differentiates me from the rest? What makes me special? Will I work in an office? Will I work in a clinic? Or would I work somewhere which I wouldn't even like? What are the skills that I should possess in my workplace?
We went to RWS. Okay, the manager there was talking to us about how does RWS work, what rights do they have, what attractions do they have. Basically that's what he briefed us about. And we actually had a tour around RWS, which is probably a half an hour tour inside USS, which is the Universal Studios of Singapore. We actually walked inside the Universal Studios to be exposed to the many rides given, the attractions, even the characters which are placed in that inside the RWS, such as the Madagascar characters, the Frankenstein, and all the other fun stuff that they allow us to do over there. And after that, you have to have a trip down to the MBS, which the manager actually went very detailed in his explanation and how do they hire their staff, what do they look, what kind of skills do they look in order to hire their staff.
And what actually I learned out from the managers is that the main idea that every person should have would be the drive. I mean, no matter where you want to work, where you want to, carry out your task or have a living or work, you should have that some sort of passion, that drive that stimulates you or allows you to carry out the task. And also during this point in time, when you carry a task, it's not just simply carrying it out, you're actually doing it in a way where it is
skilled in both your part of the job and the wide scope of what your whole career is about. You have to be multi-skilled. For example, being a staff in RWS, not only you have to service the customers, you have to introduce them to the rights. You also have to know why the rights are priced like that. Who are the rights target customers are.
they needed good communication skills. Only then would they be able to send their message out in the right way, and that their customers would get the message in the correct manner in which they want to.
So that's why I've learned from a trip down to RWS and MBS.